What's up, everyone? Yeah, I'm a day late, but no big deal. Better late than never, yeah? So today we are talking about two things. First, UFC Vegas 34, Cannonier versus Kelvin Gastelum. Great night of fights there. And then later for the podcast, guys, we'll be talking about Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas. Or Ugas, however you pronounce it. However you'd like, whatever you fancy. If you hear rumbling in the background, it's thunder here. Weather's getting pretty bad, but whatever. We're still talking fights. The YouTube, guys, is going to be split into two videos. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and dive on in. So, for UFC Vegas 34, featured Cannonier versus Kelvin Gastelum. Cannonier really kind of had bad luck, and he just got beat by Robert Whittaker. There's a big skill gap between Whittaker and Gastelum, and it is very, very pronounced. Oh, I forgot to plug in the beginning. I like to plug. So yeah, Surviving Senchai on Patreon. That's coming out. It's an early preview. I've got another upload I'm doing to it. I've got Alex Pereira, the two-weight champion in Glory Kickboxing. That's coming to Sherdog, and a bunch of cool stuff coming to My MMA News, and Fight Library is getting an interview with a couple Olympians. So yeah. All right. Anyways, yeah. Kelvin Gastelum and Cannonier. Fun fight. It really was. So I forget. Kelvin's a big boy, and yeah, he's just big. Let's just be honest. And I forget that he's really good on his feet. Very, very good, as a matter of fact. It's just he can't quite make weight. Ugh, sucks. Leon Lucky, a friend of mine on Twitter, shout out. Leon said that he had a friend that was helping Kelvin train, and Kelvin would go and sneak out to get Chipotle. That's seems about right. I don't know. Anyway, so round one, Kelvin looked good. He was light on his feet, and Jared, he did a good job of respecting the power, literally running away off of the kick that he got caught, or his kick being caught. But Kelvin brought a great pace with the fight. Cannonier had a clean lead hook, and it just didn't faze Kelvin. You remember how good Kelvin Gastelum's chin is by watching him fight Jared Cannonier. It was great. At the end of round one, Gastelum almost got a takedown. Sorry, losing my words there. But couldn't quite get it, and that would be the story of his whole night. So last week, we said, can Kelvin Gastelum wrestle a former heavyweight? No, that's the answer to that. Round two, Jared's kicks were so powerful, man, and he would use those later in the fight. I said I would like to see more, and he showed me that. Kelvin's clean, and he hits hard. I really like seeing that from Kelvin Gastelum, and Jared seemed to be tiring and throwing uneducated shots, kicked from afar, wasted energy, but it ended up not really being that the case. It just looked like that at the end of round two. Gastelum was obviously the faster guy, but he has T-Rex arms and couldn't get in. In round three, Jared, he caught Kelvin with a lead hook and it knocked him down, and that's just another testament to how good Kelvin Gastelum's chin is. He shoots in on the takedown, and he got Cannonier against the fence, but Cannonier seemed to find a second wind, and he started to look like the faster guy in that fight. Round four, Cannonier blitzed Kelvin against the fence. He got clinched and turned around pretty quick. Gastelum got the takedown finally in round five. He needed to do it early on, but he didn't. And Jared just stood right up. Jared is very, very strong, and wrestling's not going to be the way to beat him. You just have to fight smart. Kelvin stands in the trench when he wants to trade and gets left behind because Cannonier, he spirals out. He goes back into his right, I believe it was. I can't quite remember. This is just, oh well. But he would just leave, and Kelvin's looking for him. Where are you at? And Cannonier's like, I'm not standing in there with you, bro. And then, Kelvin tries to get another takedown despite locking his hands. This is kind of the story of the whole night. He couldn't get the takedown. So I'd like to see more from Kelvin Gastelum. He just needs to be more disciplined, straight up. And he's not. His weight, he's a welterweight. He needs to go down to welterweight. He can't fight with these strong guys. He goes down to welterweight, he'll be a force to be reckoned with. I didn't watch the co-main or the one after or before the co-main, the heavyweights, because I was watching Pacquiao, and I'll talk about that next. But Trevin Jones versus Saeed Yakub Cockromanov. I couldn't pronounce his name, and then I got to hear it on the broadcast enough, and yeah, I really liked what Saeed brought to the table. It was a terrible fight, don't get me wrong. The two guys leaned each other against the fence, or Trevin Jones really leaned on the fence. So Saeed got the wizard kick, and it was a beautiful takedown. He jumps guillotine and loses it, but he flips over Trevin Jones and gets up with off the Darce choke. That's a really good way to get up, and it's like a threat at the same time. We saw Vicente Luque actually. He didn't quite do it the exact same way that Cockromanov did, but he knees down. He got the Darce, and Chiesa had his knees down. He got the Darce, and he got the win that way. Round 2, Saeed starts throwing up some heat and shakes up Jones, so had him wobbled. He gives up the single way too easy. That's one thing I learned about Cockromanov shortly in this fight. He just gave up the single leg, and Trevin Jones kept getting it. Now, anybody with a little bit more pizzazz on the feet would have got him down. Round 3, Saeed with more right hooks. Jones ducked under. Doesn't get the takedown, but he got the fight to the fence. It's a beautiful duck under go around. It was awesome wrestling. Saeed got the fence, got free from the fence, and he pushes the pace back to the fence. Gave up a single again, but he grabbed the neck. He stands up with the choke, turns the wrist in, gets the torque, and Jones goes out. It was a great win, round 3 via a guillotine. Austin Hubbard versus Vince Patel. A lot of people are big on Austin Hubbard. I like him. He's come on the podcast a couple times, but he's just not quite there yet. There's something missing from him. Patel's reach was giving Hubbard problems early on, and he was having success off the counter. Hubbard likes to step through switch stances, kind of like Poirier. Not quite as good as Poirier, obviously, but he's got the stance switch down pretty well, and he'll jab and come across, and on the step through with the cross, he switches stances that way. That way, his lead hand is now the opposite hand. I forget if he's southpaw or orthodox. I don't remember these things that well. Anyways, Paul Felder started talking about his compartment syndrome story, talking about muscles wanting to burst out of the skin or something like that. That's not what it is. Compartment syndrome is when your muscles tighten up and it cuts off the blood to your muscle, and you can lose your body or your leg or whatever limb it's in. Round 2, Patel came out in urgent fashion. Throws overhand at Hubbard, and Hubbard ducks under and got a takedown. Another duck under him in this card. It's pretty cool. Patel then got up and he lands and wobbled Hubbard. Hubbard's tough though. He walks through and recovers Patel, let him off the hook basically. Round 3, Patel's tired and he got taken down, but Hubbard rushes and he got countered and ended up on the bottom. Another leg kick later on in the fight knocked him down, and Hubbard ends up on the ankle anyway, and he got on top. It was so weird. Patel got his feet on the hips, so man, it was beautiful. He put his feet on the hips and launched him across the canvas. It was great. At the end, it was really cool. The two banged it out, and they were just kind of throwing hands. And Vince Patel, at 38 years old, beat the prospect Austin Hubbard via decision. Alejandro Pantoja versus Brendan Royval. Brendan Royval's a boy. Early in round 1, Pantoja got Royval. This fight was exciting, man. Got his back. But Royval just keeps moving. He finds the heel hook and the knee bar, getting to a better position, just looking. That's a testament to keep moving. Energy's a big part of it. But still, keep moving. Royval liked to roll to get back up, and we would see later on Pantoja make that adjustment. A big 1-2 from Pantoja really hurt Royval's eye. He thought it was a eye poke. We're seeing that more and more. People are getting more precise with their jabs, I think, and either that or fighters are wanting to complain more. So round 2, Pantoja loading up early and getting off balance. He was throwing some haymakers. It was weird. And then, he missed the takedown, and Royval swarmed to the ground and pound. But Pantoja eventually, I think they got back up, but he gets to the body triangle, and he slips his arm under the neck of Royval. What he did there, now, we talked about the roll, the Granby or whatever it is. I don't know the exact terminology. But anyways, so we talked about it, and he got that, and he grabbed the underhook of his arm, so you can't roll out. So now you got the underhooks, and I got my other arm. So the arm's up, and then the other arm's around the neck, and we got the lock, right? So beautiful finish, second round, rear naked choke by Pantoja. I loved it. Brian Kelleher and Domingo Polarte was actually a one-sided whooping. I mean, first round, Kelleher shows you what he's going to do the whole fight, and he shoots. He gets the pressure to the fence, and we're going to go to the double. Complete round, complete control the entire round for Kelleher, and then guess what? Round 2, exact same thing. Pushes the fence, shoots, locks hands, double. Polarte got up with like a minute and a half left, and he stuck himself in the guillotine, but he got up on top. Kelleher looked more confident on the back than Polarte did, and that's expected. Kelleher also, he got back up and looks for the guillotine and ends up on the bottom again. Round 3 is identical. Kelleher walks over to his corner with Dom on his shoulder, which was pretty cool. He was chatting with his corner. Smart, though, because he's going to get instruction. And there's actually a crowd in the Apex now. So he walks over, hey, tell me what to do, blah, blah. Fight ends, Kelleher on top. Kind of a boring fight, but Kelleher looked really good and called out Sean O'Malley. I like it. And then, of course, we had the Bahamondes Roosevelt Roberts spinning wheel KO at the buzzer, and ooh-wee, that was beautiful. That was so awesome, man. I loved it. I really like Bahamondes from the little bit I've seen of him. It's not been too much, so yeah. Anyways, guys, MMA guys, that's going to be it. We're going to be transitioning on the podcast to boxing next. Manny Pacquiao versus Yordenis Ugas. So yeah, check that video out. It'll be up shortly after this one. Check out the Patreon. Fight Library, of course. Follow me on Twitter, Blaine Henry TFL. Patreon, we're working on a couple. We got Surviving Senchai working on. It's a preview exclusive. You get to see that as it's being written. So as I update it, you'll be able to be the first to get seen. It's going to be released for free for anybody else who wants to see it when it's fully completed. But if you really just kind of want to see something cool early or what have you, I don't know if that's a thing. But yeah, anyways, guys, check it out. I'll catch you later.